Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, and today we are going to figure out what I will be reading in the month of June, aka the proudest month of the year. I'm very sorry for that joke. I kind of regret it, but I kind of don't. So if this is your first time watching my TBR game, I play a game called TBR Pursuit. It uses the Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit board. Each color represents a different genre from the 6 most popular genres on my physical TBR, which are LGBT, of course, romance, classics, psychology, Jewish, and fantasy. And then the bigger spots at the end of the spokes are miscellaneous to account for all the other books that I have that do not fit in those 6 genres. I also have a roll again spot, which adds a book to my TBR. Luckily, I do not have any consequence books because not that I finished my TBR, but I didn't have more than 3 books that I didn't read. So, yay me! I am really looking forward to figuring out what we'll be reading in June. It's Pride Month, so of course I'm going to try to make at least most of the books queer. I'm a little nervous because last year I tried to do this and I think I ended up with like 2 queer books just because the game hated me that day. So here's hoping this year is better because I really want to read books that I'm excited about. May was a little disappointing, so we'll see if we can make June a little bit better. I do have a vacation in June. I'm going to a lake house for a weekend with friends of mine, so I will try to probably skew things towards like lighter reads if I can. If not, then it is what it is. And the only other thing is that I usually roll 7 books because I average roughly around like 8. But if I do land on a roll again spot, I will, of course, add books. I think that's everything I have to cover, so let's get into it and see what I'm going to read in June. Okay, for the first roll, 1. Alright. The first roll is honestly the best one because I get to pretty much choose whichever genre I want. So, you know what, let's just start off on the right foot. Let's go LGBT. Damn it. I got Winter Vibes, which is not necessarily what I want, but that's okay. For the first book of Winter Vibes, which I'm a little bummed about because I like to read seasonally and I can't do that if the game is giving me, you know, out of season prompts. But I picked up The Holiday Trap by Roan Parrish. This is essentially the plot of, I think it's called The Holiday, the movie with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet where they switch places and end up, they switch houses because their lives are not like going great, and they end up, you know, falling in love with people in their swapped houses. It's that plot, but queer. Greta is a lesbian from Maine whose family is very meddlesome, and she has a mutual friend with Truman who is gay and lives in Louisiana and found out that his boyfriend had a secret life and was cheating on him. And this mutual friend suggests that they swap places for a month just for a change of scenery. And so they do. Honestly, I think it sounds pretty cute. If I remember correctly, I did enjoy watching The Holiday. And so I think I would just like this even more. So, awesome. Alright, for roll 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is Jewish. Or I could go back through, which would put me on 1, 2, 3, 4, which would put me on this level. Well, obviously it's June, we're aiming for LGBT, so let's just go ahead and go to another blue. Ooh. Okay. A booktuber recommendation. Okay, I can work with that. For a queer book that is a booktuber rec, I realized for some reason I didn't have this book and the book after it in the series on my TBR, which explains why I never got them in the game. But this popped in my head because I watch Jess from Books Past Bedtime like almost religiously whenever she posts a video, and I know that she loves the series, which is the Monstrous series by Mayne. Gloam is the 4th book, and the Monstrous series takes place like in this post-apocalyptic world where monsters come from another world, and some of them wreak havoc, some of them are nice. But the humans in this novel, most of the humans live on the coast where it's safer, but some live in the Midwest of the US where it's sort of a no man's land. And they end up, human men in the series, happen to meet monsters that they then fall in love with. So, I am really curious about this one because it is the best friend of the main character from The Reek, which was the 3rd book. And so I really wanted to see what was happening next, and now I understand why I could never figure that out because it wasn't on my list. But now I can get to it. For roll 3, let's see if we can get out of a spoke. 2. Okay, so that's 1, 2, which is romance, or 1, 2, which is classics. I'm, of course, going to go for romance. There we go, that's better. Summer vibes. For a romance that is summer vibes, obviously I'm still trying to make it queer, and honestly I think most of my books are queer, so yay me, I did better than last year. I picked up The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen. So I've been in a really big like queer historical fiction mood, and this is about a guy named Gareth who has kind of like a one-night stand, and he gets ditched, which is very upsetting. And then he finds out about an inheritance, and I think he comes into a title. Yeah. He becomes a baronet, and he inherits land and everything. And the land that he inherits is in the territory of a smuggler gang. And who is the leader of this gang but the guy he had a one-night stand with? So, honestly, I've had this for a really long time, and I've been wanting to get to it, and I already bought the sequel. So, yeah, so this should be fun. And roll number 4, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is roll again. 1, 2, 6, which is roll again. 1, 2, 4, 5. Or I could go over here. Do I want to add another book so soon? Yeah, let's go for it. Alright, we're gonna roll again. Oh no! Damn it. Okay. 1. Perfect. So, that's LGBT. So now I'm going to get 8 books. Okay. Ooh. Set at a school. Nothing comes to mind immediately, but that's okay. Alright, for LGBT set at school, of course I had to pick up Heartstopper. This is volume 5, and I've already read this. I read it as the webcomic, and so sorry, I got distracted. And so I already know what happens, but I enjoy reading the physical form. And this is, you know, where Nick and Charlie's relationship gets even deeper. I don't think this is when they say I love you. I think they say it like way earlier. But It's still very cute. I'm very much looking forward to it. Alright, for the 5th book, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is romance, 1, 2, 3, fantasy, 2, 3, roll again. Let's just go ahead and go for romance. Okay, this is a romance that is an audiobook. So, perfect. For a romance that is an audiobook, I picked up A Gentleman Never Keeps Score by Sebastian, which is the 2nd book in Seducing the Sedgwicks series. I read the first one, I really enjoyed it, and this is about that main character's brother, Hartley. And Hartley sort of is known to, you know, be a fun-loving guy in society, but there's some gossip that makes him kind of turn into a hermit, and he's totally fine with not seeing anyone for a bit, except someone, oh, what's his name? Sam, comes in to try to steal from him. He's doing a favor for a friend, but this sounds really fun, actually. I have a lot of fun books this month so far. And yeah, if I remember correctly, this series is definitely more spicy than some of Sebastian's other writings. So that just means even more fun for me. For the 6th book, 2, 1, 2, which is Jewish, 1, 2, which is Miscellaneous. Let's do Miscellaneous, just for a little bit of chaos. Ah, why did I do this to myself? God damn it. Essays. Great. Alright, and to completely change the vibe, we have essays. I don't have any essays about queer people or queerness in general, which is disappointing and something I should alter in the future. But I picked up something else interesting, which is the Polysyllabic Spree by Nick Hornby. I believe this is an essay on different things that Nick Hornby read in like a certain time span. Yeah, it says, in his monthly accounts of what he's read, along with what he bought and may one day read, Nick Hornby ably explores everything from the classic to the graphic novel, as well as poems, plays, and sports-related exposés. And if he occasionally implores a biographer for brevity or abandons a literary work in favor of an Arsenal soccer match, then all is not lost. So, honestly, I thought it sounded really interesting because isn't that kind of what I'm doing? Like, I do weekly vlogs where I tell you what I thought about the books that I read. And so, I thought it'd be interesting to read a book about what the author read. Of course. Alright. For the 7th roll, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So anything right here, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 romance, or psychology. I won't be doing that. I mean, I should always aim for LGBT where possible. So, okay. Oh, okay. An LGBT book by a BIPOC author. And then an LGBT book by a BIPOC author. So last time I got that prompt, I really struggled because I actually didn't have any, which was sad. And I wanted to rectify that. And I did, apparently. I have quite a few to choose from. But I went ahead and picked up the most recent one that I got, which is 100 Boyfriends by Brontez Purnell. This is about, I don't know if it's an actual novel or essays. I guess it has to be a novel. But this is about a group of queer black men who are apparently desperately fighting the urge to not self-sabotage. Or desperately fighting the urge to self-sabotage. It's supposed to be very messy, it's supposed to be witty, and I think it's supposed to be pretty funny, as well as offering some insights. And so I saw this in a used bookstore and I thought it sounded really cool, and of course I wanted to pick it up as soon as I had the prompt. Okay, for what will probably be the last book 3. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Or 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Alright. Okay. And an LGBT book with the best cover. For LGBT with the best cover. This is subjective. Would I say this is the best cover overall of all my LGBT books? No. Would I say that it's the best cover for the mood that I'm in right now, which is more summery, preparing for a trip to a lake house vibes? Yes. Convenient, isn't it? The Lodger That Summer by Levi Huxton. So the main character of this book is grieving and is looking forward to getting away for the summer holidays. This is set in Australia, so the summer holidays take place over Christmas. And he is in a house with other renters, and he's very intrigued by some of the other men in the house. It's supposed to be like pretty erotic, and it says it's full of unabashed steamy sex. So I'm like, great. I probably shouldn't read this actually at the lake house, but we'll see. And then finally, I do have a 9th book because I wasn't able to fit it into any of the prompts. It could have fit in a romance category if I gotten the right prompt, but I didn't. So the last book is, of course, a Wodehouse book. It's The Prince and Betty. I don't know anything about it, and that's okay, because I go in completely blind for the Wodehouse books. I read one a month for the podcast that I do with my dad about Wodehouse. So The Prince and Betty, it's probably funny. It might annoy me, just based off of the hints that my dad has given. So I'm not sure about it, but I will read it. So those are the 9 books that I will be reading in June. And honestly, like, most of them seem really fun, seem like pretty easy reads. And so I'd be very surprised if I didn't read all of them. Watch me, really regret saying that in a month's time. But let me know if you have read any of these books, if you have any of these books and you want to read them, and I can prioritize them in my vlogs. And like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you don't miss any vlogs, because that's where you get my like nearly real-time reaction to the books that I read. And yeah, that's all I got. So yay for, what, 7 of the 9 books being queer. That's pretty good. That's pretty great for Pride. So I hope everyone has a lovely Pride, and let me know what queer books you're reading so that I can add them to my wish list. Bye!